All right, welcome to this week's episode of Cue It.
Wait!
I'm sorry I started too soon. You all right, pal? You want to step in the frame there, pal? Hi, I'm Kai Hogan, and
I'm Andrew Teeter.
yeah, just barely.
I'm
All
in
right.
the frame.
Get that up for you. There you go, champ. So, this episode we will be reviewing a Late Quartet. Now, this was kind of one of those under-the-radar Netflix ones. Not a lot of people have heard about this, unfortunately.
Yeah, you told me to watch it, and I was like, that sounds really dumb.
And then you see the cast list.
Then I looked at the cast list and read the introduction, and I was like, huh, I really want to watch that now.
Yeah,
and then I sat down and watched it.
Christopher Walken, Catherine Keener, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Imogen Poots, and
Mark Ivanier.
Mark Ivanier. That's the name.
He's Russian.
To what? So, this is a story. Basically, there are these four people who have all been in this quartet for
25 years?
Yeah, about 25 years. All great friends, have been playing together for years, and they're phenomenal. They're world-renowned string quartet.
They're getting back after their last...
And this is like the first time since the end of last season that they're sitting down to play together, just kind of get back into tune and everything. And Christopher Walken's having some trouble with it. Goes into the doctor and finds out that he's got early stages of Parkinson's, which they say is treatable for him, and that he's got medication that'll help. But this will probably be his last season. And so then that's kind of like the through story throughout this whole thing, that how they're dealing with that, and the whole dynamic of the group is changing because they're talking about bringing in a new person, which after 25 years, how do you just bring in a new person to that? It's not just about talent. And then Philip Seymour Hoffman's character is struggling with the notoriety because he plays second chair violin, yes, which he says at the beginning, it's not necessarily like a seniority or hierarchy thing, it's just someone who compliments, that's just kind of the title that's given, but he wants to be that first chair, and so he brings that up, and then that causes some tension between the people. So that basically everyone's kind of at each other's throats, because everyone's already upset that Christopher Walken's character, Robert, is it? Peter won't be able to join them. Daniel's got the relationship with the daughter, and then there's marital troubles going on between Philip Seymour Hoffman and Catherine Keener, which is, it all feels very genuine and relatable. I mean, obviously not all of us have that in the context of musicians and such like that, but at the same time, it's a lot of real life issues that people are going through, and I think this does a good job of keeping a realistic eye on some of those things that happen.
Exactly. The characters are really well developed. I think that can't be said enough.
I agree.
They very clearly have motivation in the beginning, and they very clearly have motivation at the end, and they're different. And they're organically different. It's not like your motivation is different now, but why? It's like, okay, I see why your motivation has changed.
You see that full arc super well, and even there are some subtle things, like at the very end, there's performance, that you just see a lot of things get wrapped up, and I think it's great to see just that overall transformation, and that the whole movie, it took that entire movie to get there so gradually.
Yeah, and I think part of the reason that the conflict is really believable and it really pulls the movie forward is that right in the beginning of the movie, the characters are well established and their relationships are well established, and you know where they're all coming from. And they all feel so real. I know that's a really generic word, but they all feel so relatable, and like that's my cousin. Like they were people like,
that's someone that like everyone knows someone in that position. Just a group of perfect actors. I think Christopher Walken's role is it's not like supposed to be the main role, and I think everyone uses their screen time very well, and you don't feel like anyone was favored or not favored.
Yeah, there's no real main character.
It really is just a very ensemble piece, which is nice. Everyone goes through some sort of transformation. Everyone has some point of growth and a lesson to be learned, and things getting resolved in the end, which is nice, because I feel like everything really gets tied up
Mm-hmm.
at the end. Like even if it's really subtly, things get tied up. So.
And, part of the thing about the story is that the characters all feel that after 25 years, their roles and their quartet is so solidified, it's matured to the point that it's not going to mature anymore. And then they get hit with this conflict, and they're forced to deal with that. The simple fact that they will never be at a point where there's no conflict.
Yeah. It's just one of those things where they see one thing changing and they're wondering, oh, does that mean everything has to change? Or can everything else change? Or can we just change this one thing and make it as great or better than it was before? Or does this mean, like, especially with Robert Philip Seymour Hoffman, thinking, okay, if this is changing, does that allow for maybe I could be that first chair? Could I do that? And then that causes tension. It's like, all right, enough is already changing. Please don't throw that at us.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting to see how the domino effect throughout the entire movie.
Yeah. The one thing I really, really didn't like about a Late Quartet was the relationship between Daniel and Alex. It was like the relationship between Alex and Daniel initially is there's this kind of conflict and tension between student and teacher, and then they say, no, wait, the tension was sexual. The tension was purely sexual, and now they're in a relationship.
Yeah.
And it was just this is so out of the blue and so ridiculous. And every scene that they were together, kissing, or he gives her a foot rub at one point, I think, right?
Yeah.
It's just like, stop! You're wasting my time. You're wasting.
And he has to
you're
hide
wasting
out
your
on the
ensemble
balcony.
cast. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was just so it
It's
was
like-
just a predictable romance put in there to give the movie
to give a little spice.
the
Which
romance.
I think it was already
Story.
fine enough. I don't think
Yeah.
it necessarily needed more.
Exactly.
So.
So overall, I think, in my opinion, it was definitely Kye. It's a drama. Dramas sometimes get boring. You kind of have to be in the mood for a drama. So if you're in the mood for kind of an intense drama with really, really strong characters and really, really strong relationships, I would 100% say Kye it. Put it on, watch, be drawn in.
Yeah, you have to. I would say Kye too, but you definitely have to be in the mood to watch it. It's not the most lighthearted movie. It's not a lighthearted movie at all.
No.
It starts off intense and it ends intense, and especially because you get very connected to these characters. Like the very final scene, it always makes an impact on me. I think it pulls at your heartstrings. So if you want something that's intense, lots of character-driven things.
It's not super exciting. It's not.
Oh no, not at
There's
all.
not an action scene. There's no guns being fired. But the drama allows the movie to move forward very smoothly. It's not a slow movie by any means, but it's definitely not action-packed and a 4-hour movie that feels like it's an hour and a half. All right, so together, Kyle and I suggest
Yes.
that you watch this movie.
Definitely put it in your queue.
Maybe not right now. Maybe in a week. But
Cue
you
it now.
watch it.
Wait for when you're in the mood to have something a little more dramatic and more intense, and this will definitely sit well with you. All right, so that's been our show for this week. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe if you like this, or if you have any suggestions for the show, or if you want to suggest movie titles that we watch. If you've been on the fence about anything, we can definitely talk about that, give a review for you.
Yeah, and if you disagree with my review,
Then
tell me.
watch a different show. No, we'd like to hear from you. Tell us what you think. Maybe there's some things that we missed that you'd like to bring up and talk about. Definitely another good place to talk to us about your ideas of films. Our Twitter handle, at Q or Screw. So definitely talk to us on Twitter. Hit us up on there or in the comment section down below. Feel free to subscribe to us. Also,
Blogspot?
Blogspot.
Blogspot, Kyle.
Blogspot.
Blogspot.
I'm sorry.
Blog hits the spot every time.
It really does.
This has been Q or Screw It.
Yep. I'm Kye Hogan.
And I'm Andrew Teeter.
And we'll see you next time, hopefully, after that.
Unleash your passion, man.
my passion?
Unleash your passion. What are you afraid of?